Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and take a look here and you will see the New York Stock Exchange off of Wall Street. I say off of Wall Street because it's not on Wall Street, actually. It's on 18 Broad Street. It was moved here in 1903. The building was created by George Post, who was involved in the Vanderbilt Mansion as well. Got a neoclassical design. Look at the top pediment, and you'll see where there used to be a 90-ton sculpture up there. They recreated it to make it look lighter than it actually is. Now, the New York Stock Exchange was not originally on Wall Street. It was check that. It was not originally on Broad Street. It was originally on Wall Street at 68 Wall. And the original trading was done in 1792 under the Buttonwood Tree with the Buttonwood Agreement. The first stock ever exchanged, New York's Alexander Hamilton stock of the Bank of New York. Now, there was, as you recall, a crisis that happened in 9/11, and the terrorists attacked those buildings. And since that point, they have placed this fence around the area. There was a giant U.S. flag here for a while for protection, as you never know, Al-Qaeda or some other foreign entity, or perhaps even a homegrown group would like to get at this. And in fact, Wall Street is not a stranger to attacks at all. 1929, let's dial it back to a date that was when the stock market took its biggest plunge and brought us into a depression. It was the roaring 20s. Things were going very well for America, so it looked. Everybody was buying all sorts of things, and the stocks were trading, and the prices just kept going higher and higher and higher and higher. It seemed like there was no end to it. But finally, everybody pretty much bought everything that they needed to. There was only so many sewing machines, automobiles, houses that you could buy. And speculation with stocks now turned into speculation about money, or the speculation about what people would buy. And it got further and further and further, where it was almost just this house of cards. And finally, someone said, enough, this isn't going to happen anymore. And it was on October 23rd, 1929, when the stock market took an 11% plunge, and people were in shrieks on the floor. Just unbelievably couldn't fathom what was happening here. Well, it was shored up. They went out and looked across the street to this building over here, which is 23 Wall Street. And this was the House of Morgan, which in the past, in 1893 and in 1907, had rescued the government twice. J.P. Morgan had enough money that he could bail out the entire government in the entire country. What a powerful man. This time they looked to him again, and they organized a group of investors to shore up the stock exchange. And on Friday it was done, but at that same time, with things balancing out, the banks pulled all their money. So on Monday, the plunge began again. And then Tuesday, even heavier, 11% drop, 13 billion loss. The next day, 17 billion loss, 30 billion all told, 10 times more than the annual budget for the government. It was unbelievably bad. And by the time 1932 rolled around, 89% was dropped. It took 10.5 years to recover. Finally, we did. But as I was mentioning about this fence here and the terrorists, there were other times when this happened about that same time, dialing back before the day of the big stock market crash, where in 1920 a bombing occurred.